Yo. So, headed back towards Ohio. This little small town that I told you about it in the last video here. I've been on this loop for the whole week. I do have a pre-plan that's going to get me out of the loop, so it ain't the end of the world that I gotta run this back here. Yeah, the weather is real in Ohio, that's for sure. It was more real yesterday, and today they got it cleaned up pretty good. They do a good job with all that on the 80, at least. I don't know about the rest of it, but on the 80 they do a real good job. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really pertain to what I wanted to say, but I messed up. Yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So yesterday I had an appointment time for 8 o'clock a.m., and I had gotten to the place that I was picking up at the night beforehand. And so I slept there like I've been known to do. I don't know. I just really enjoy waking up at the place that I gotta be at, because then you just gotta, mosey on into the shipping department, get your stuff, and get the heck out of there. But I woke up at 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock, and I was like, okay, there might be a little, I'm sorry, I kind of screwed up. That's my bad. But I came in there and they were like, no, your new appointment is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, okay, this is not good now. And so I waited all day till 4 o'clock came around, and no one had given me a call. So I was like, hey, they might have forgot about me. And of course they did. And they got me in a dock as soon as I called in, which I kind of wish I would have called in earlier then, but what are you going to do? And I had told my dispatcher that I would make it to my delivery that night because it was only like 400 miles. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to be a problem. I'll be there. And as I told you, the weather was pretty real. So I didn't make it there till like 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I don't even know. But yeah, I told him I was going to make it, and I made it, and that's all there is to it. Where the heck was I going with that now? Come on. But, oh yeah, that was the other thing. Oh man. I was coming into Milwaukee on the 94 going west, and I had my wipers on, and it was snowing pretty good, and there's a bunch of cars, so they're kicking up all kinds of stuff on your windshield. And windshield wipers flying all over the place, and I hear something, and I'm paying attention, but not to like the fullest extent. You know what that is. Like, you're just kind of doing what I'm doing right now. You're just kind of like in autopilot mode almost. You're paying attention. You're looking for weird stuff, but generally speaking, you're just kind of keeping it between the lines and letting it roll. And I heard a piece of ice fall off, and I was like, man, that was a pretty big piece of ice. And I look up, and here my dang windshield wiper fell off on the driver's side. Now, if it was on the passenger side, I would have said, oh man, well that sucks, and just kind of keep going, because I was only half hour away from my delivery, and I would just be like, all right, fine, like, who cares? But yeah, I had to pull over and switch out windshield wipers and duct tape the other ones so it didn't scratch the windshield. And man, it was a hell of a day. And then today I got stuck in a snowbank at the terminal, looking like a real idiot. I just plowed this thing into a snowbank. I was like, that's not that tall. Nah, I threw it in the snowbank and realized, man, this is about knee-high snow, and that didn't turn out very well, and I look like an idiot. But what are you gonna do? None of that has anything to do with the video. I'm just kind of keeping keeping you all updated on what's going on. I mean, that's just the real about it. I'm making rookie mistakes out here. But the real about the video is this concept of, I guess, I don't know. I haven't exactly come up with a solid subject for this, but I guess you could basically call it like getting your life in order completely or something like that. And that's kind of the whole goal behind being out here, is getting my stuff straight. I don't really want to cuss or anything like that, but YouTube doesn't like that, and I'm sure, there's people out there that wouldn't agree with that anyways. But yeah, getting my stuff straight. If you've been on the channel for a second, you would know that basically the reason I'm out here is to get my retirement in order and basically pay that. I'm looking at it as like basically I'm paying a debt, and once I get that paid off, I can be, I can do whatever I want. Once I get that done, who the heck knows what the heck I'm gonna do, and if I'm gonna stay in the industry or, choose to go down a different career path or whatever. But that's like the first tree branch of places that, I guess that's kind of the tree trunk, actually, because that's a given right there. But where the tree forks off is what happens with my life after all that happens. And what I mean by that is, am I going to be, like a single man? Oh, maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't got to be a single man, but like kind of a no kids route, and then just living like that? Or am I going to be, a married with kids man? And the no kids route, that's kind of the financially easy route to be taken. I mean, as we all know, kids are not cheap, and I didn't understand that until I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh, that probably costs a whole lot of money, because you got a whole nother person that ain't bringing any money in, and you gotta support them and do all this stuff. But I mean, they're your kids, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, the no kids route would be very simple, and the kids route, like the married with kids, picket fence with the blue house with red door and 2 trees in the front yard or whatever, that like weird American dream situation, which I don't really think is perfectly feasible in our day and age. That's kind of what I'm gonna speak on, is how I envision it for myself. This is like conceptual. It's not like this is the way that has to be, otherwise I'm not going to be happy. You just kind of, like, it's just life. You just do what you're doing, and it is what it is at the time, you know what I mean? But I don't know where the heck I got this ingrained into my mind, but for me, I think it's really important to have my stuff so straight that if my wife would want to not have a job and just be a mother, that would be possible. That's the kind of straight that I want my stuff to be, you know what I mean? Like, if it isn't that, I don't know, if it doesn't have to be that way, or it doesn't, seem like it needs to happen in that sort of a fashion, then it doesn't, obviously. But I'm just saying, I want to be like in that sort of a realm that I could just be like, you know what, like, if we don't want to be doing this or that or the other thing, then why are we gonna do it? Just, be a parent. And that's probably a full-time job in and of itself. And yeah, just like stuff like that, where, to get my life in order. And I've also been, this has been since I started, like this concept of like generational wealth has sort of been an underlying factor, and I'm not sure if it's a super attainable goal or not, but basically how I started thinking about it was like, well, what if you just start like setting stuff up for your future children so that the financial stresses of life are not so extreme? And what I mean by that is setting up investments now to put them in place now, so that further down the line that they're just kind of taken care of, and they don't really got to worry about that. And I've considered that as like, oh well, you want to set up like a college fund, but you don't want to like put aside, like $60,000-$80,000, which is probably what it's going to cost to just have a normal education when theoretically, if my kids were that age, that's probably what money is going to be worth, is $60,000 to $80,000. Now it's like what, I don't even know, it's like $40,000-$60,000, somewhere in there. But we all know inflation is a thing, and money becomes less of worth. Hold on a second, gotta hit the bait. Oh yeah. But yeah, just stuff like that is kind of in my mind, and it's only like a tree branch to the tree that is my life, I guess. Like, that's just kind of how I think about my life, is it could go off in so many different directions that they're just like tree branches, and I'm working in such a way that if it branches up, okay, just had my clipboard fall off the dang chair. Oh, all the paper fell off. I ain't screwing around with that right now. Whatever. But to have all my branches covered in my tree of life, that is very important to me. Like if one day I'm just like, screw it, I'm done with doing whatever I'm doing right now, and I'm just gonna go I'm just gonna buy a sailboat. I'm just gonna go buy a sailboat, and I'm gonna sail across every freaking sea, and I'm gonna go check out New Zealand, I'm gonna go check out Australia, I'm gonna go run up to northern Japan, check that out. I'm gonna go screw around in India for a little while, and go see Madagascar, and run around to Spain, and cruise around in the Mediterranean a little bit, and all sorts. If I wanted to go down that route, I want to have that tree branch covered. You know what I'm saying? Just to have a base to this life is very important to me. And I don't know if that's this is probably pretty pretentious to say, but I don't know if that's a wisdom thing at too young of an age, or what the hell it is, or I'm taking life too seriously, because I've heard people say that people my age just have to stop taking life so seriously, and I don't know how to do that. So you can fall down a flight of stairs, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, just stuff like that is incredibly important to me, because I don't the idea of being trapped to me is really, that stresses me out a lot. Like, just the thought of like, oh man, I'm in this career and I like can't switch jobs because the amount of money that I make, I just make enough money to cover all of my crap, and if I want to, step down to make, like, let's say I'm making $60,000 a year or something like that. This is theoretical. If I'm like making $60,000 a year and I'm capped out on all of my stuff, and I'm like, man, like I would really like to go do that, but I've heard they only make like $35,000, $40,000. Like, I can't even swing that. Like, that is the worst thing in the world to me, is being trapped. So I don't want to ever get into a point in life where I'm like trapped, essentially. I want to be, truly free in my life. I don't want to be like digging in my pockets like, man, do I even have enough to cover that? And like, oh, how am I gonna do this? And like, even at a young age where I'm at right now, I already see people who are doing this to themselves, where they're setting themselves up like that. And I think you got to be very careful of that it doesn't happen. I don't know. That's probably just me. I don't know what the heck it is. I'm built a weird, special type of way, and special. I don't know about special, but like special and just special's not the right word, but like it probably isn't special or unique. That was the word I was gonna go with, was unique. But it's like there's probably a whole boatload of people like me, but I don't know any of them fools, so it seems unique. You know what I mean? Oh boy. This dude's getting adventurous. He's got triples out here. It's snowing, dude. What are you doing? You're crazy. Anyways. Is there anything else I would like to cover with that whole concept? I don't know. I don't think so. Not really. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm gonna cut this one off. Yeah, that's just how I think about my life. Is right now I'm in the position to do what I have to do to make my life better in the future, so why would I not handle it right now? Like, I don't really have anything going on, so like, why would I not handle those things right now instead of just jumping into some serious stuff right now and then later on being like, oh man, I'm not really feeling this anymore. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna get the heck out of here and keep cruising through Ohio, get to my situation, handle all that. I guess I'll catch y'all in the next one. All right, bye-bye.